Hey everybody, welcome back. We are on our final day of product reveals for our first ever holiday collection here at the Greetery. Today we are introducing a fun new die collection that lets you create these adorable candy shaped treats. There are lots of different options for creating these, so let's get to it. Alright, so first of all, let me show you the dies and the consumables that we are offering with this new little collection. There are dies to create circle candies or rectangle candies. There's also a tearaway rectangle and a tearaway circle, which will allow you to create a tearaway backing so that your recipient can open it up without destroying the whole creation, which is kind of fun. We are also offering a peppermint edition, which contains both a rectangle peppermint and a circle peppermint detail, as well as a holly berry and holly leaf. We are also offering 4 different bubbles. There are 2 sizes of circles and 2 sizes of rectangles. The circles are both 2.5 inch in diameter, but one is a 1/2 inch deep and the other is a 1/4 inch deep. The rectangles are both 1.5 by 3. One is a 1/2 inch deep and the other is a 1/4 inch deep. So you can do all kinds of different combinations here. You can back a single bubble with a die cut, or you can put 2 bubbles back to back. So that gives you a range of anywhere from a 1/4 inch depth all the way to a 1 inch depth by combining 2 1/2 inch circles. So you can do, like I said, a single bubble, so you can go down to just a single 1/4 inch bubble, or you can go all the way up to 2 1/2 inch bubbles back to back, so an inch depth. Just kind of depends on what you want to put inside and what kind of construction you want to do. So let me show you just a few of the things I created with this new collection, and then we'll put one together for ourselves. So this will kind of show a few of the different options. You can use the tearaway circle, which you can see here creates kind of a perforated circle around the back, or there's the rectangle as well. And so your recipient can then just go ahead and pull this little tab away and the backing will come apart and they can get the treats right out of there. So the rectangle is the perfect size to fit 3 Hershey nuggets, which is kind of fun. The tearaway is large enough to cover the entire opening of that rectangle bubble, and so it'll be easy to get those candies out of there. For this one, I did 2 bubbles back to back. The 2 1/4 inch bubbles were the right size for the lip balm. I'm not sure why a 1/2 inch bubble wasn't enough. The 1/2 inch bubble must be slightly smaller than the 2 1/4 inch bubbles together, because the 1/2 inch bubble alone was just a little bit too tight for these lip smacker lip balms. But the 2 1/4 inch bubbles worked really well. And so for this one, instead of doing the tearaway backing, I just tied the ends closed. And so the recipient will be able to just untie this twine and go ahead and open that up. I also filled it with a little bit of snow and some sequins, which I thought might fall out since it's not sealed at all on the sides, but I tied it up nice and tight and it does seem to be staying pretty well. I don't think you could do like super fine glitter or anything, but the snowflakes and sequins that I used did seem to stay in there pretty well. So for these two, I went a little bit of a different route and I trimmed off one of the little wrapper pieces on one end of each of these to create more of a lollipop look, which is so cute. These would make really, really, really adorable birthday treats. I forgot to mention that there is a stamp set, a sentiment stamp set as well, and the stamp set has sentiments for lots of different occasions. There's even some Halloween, there's just general hey sweetie, there is Christmas options, birthday options, just a few different things packed into this little sentiment set. So like I said, for this route I cut one of the wrappers off, and so I did more of a lollipop look, and I used some paper straws for the sticks. Now one thing to note about this little project is that the wrapper portion of the die does have a slit here, and so it was at first it was a little floppy, so I was intending to glue that stick up in between the 2 layers, but since there's that cut line there, that did not work out. So what I ended up doing is I just ended up pushing the straw up into that tearaway circle. And so the recipient can still just pull this tab and open that up. And that made it much more stable. So that's kind of fun. The sentiment here was stamped using this matching sentiment set, and then all of those sentiments fit on the dies from the Sentiment Suite Basics die collection. So that's a fun use for those as well. So let's go ahead and put one of these together. We're going to be making a circle peppermint. So I have all of my pieces already cut. I have a circle candy with the center circle cut out from it so that the bubble can slip inside. And then I also have a solid circle with the tearaway circle cut from the inside of that, centered inside of there, so that I can have a tearaway backing on my peppermint. So one thing I would like to recommend you do when you get the dies, your set will be wired together with that inner circle cutout wired centered inside of there. And you're going to need to cut that out of there in order to do the tearaway circle or a solid backer. But before you do that, I would recommend cutting yourself a couple of templates to keep on hand. And I mark mine with templates so that I don't throw them in the garbage or use them on something else. This is the cut that I know is centered accurately. And so then I will use this every time to make sure that my dies are lined up. So I'll just drop my die cut in there, and then I'll drop my centerpiece in there, and then I'll just secure it with a little bit of washi tape, and then take that template out of there. And then I know that my dies are in the correct position and I can just cut multiples that way. So let's go ahead and get this put together. I am going to start by stamping a sentiment onto the front piece of the candy. And I'm using the Sweet Holiday Wishes sentiment from the Candy Pop sentiment set. And I'll just stamp that in some fired brick distress ink. And then I'm going to go ahead and add that to the front of my bubble. I'm using a 1/2 inch bubble, and I have it filled with these yummy chocolate mint filled candies. These are really good. I've never seen them before, but I picked them up at Minnesota's largest candy store, and they have like a crunchy outer hard peppermint shell, but then on the inside is chocolate, and they are really good. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this in there since I already have my candy already nicely in there. I don't want to have to flip it upside down. So I'm going to drop my bubble in there from the back side of my candy piece. My sentiment is on the other side because that's actually my front. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure all my candy wrappers are tucked inside of there. And I will add some liquid glue around this edge as well, all the way around. Get in there. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and close it up with my solid backer. I do want to make sure that I have my sentiment. Okay, my sentiment's at the top up here, because I want my tab to be on the bottom. So make sure that that's positioned right. Go ahead and line them up, and then just pinch it closed around those edges. Okay, and I always think it looks really super cute if you kind of bend the little wrapper portion outward and give it some dimension with the 2 layers. And then you can go ahead and add your peppermint topper. You could actually do 2 if you'd like to create a 2-colored peppermint. They do fit inside of each other. If you rotate them, they fit perfectly that way. So you can add either a white or a pink or a green peppermint. And then I have the little wrapper details. I have added some shading to those with a gray colored pencil, so I'll add those to the wrapper ends over here. And then I have this little holly detail. This is also from the peppermint edition. And I think I'll add it over here. have some glitter added to that, so it's really sparkly and fun. And that's all there is to it. You have this super cute little treat, just with a fun amount of candy inside. Great for handing out to kids, bus drivers, teachers, whatever you'd like. You can even add, you could punch a hole in the top and add a string and turn it into an ornament if you'd like. So these are really fun to put together. I hope you enjoyed this how-to video and this introduction to our Candy Pops collection. And this is our last day of reveal. These will go up in the shop for sale tomorrow. It's the big day tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Everything goes up in the shop October 4. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching.